So, we're going to talk about the JBL Everest. And if you're a blind person and you're watching this channel and you say, oh my god, Zeos has the JBL Everest. Sorry, it's not what the actual JBL Everest is. Let me show you real quick what that is. Here's the headphones that are called the Everest. And here are what the actual JBL Everests are. And they're a speaker pair that cost $52,000 on sale. That's Music Direct's. Was $75,000. You saved $22,500. Now $52,500, and they're big. They're like the size of like a living room. They're like, what? So I don't know who at JBL thought that, you know what? We got these new Bluetooth headphones. They're affordable. They have some interesting quirks. Let's call them the Everests. Don't do that. Don't do that. These were sent to me by a fan. He's like, no one talks about these. You should really get them. And there's only reason I said yes was because first he said, I have JBL Everest. Do you want it? And I was like, what? And then fucking phone has to be in my pocket and on. Zeos's phone just never quits. Remember, if you're in the patronage chat or the new pay for chat, because now I have Patreon and Subscribestar for people who don't like Patreon or just can't get to work. Subscribe has an option, so it goes off constantly. But when the guy said I have JBL Everest, I did like a triple take, and then he described them as headphones and Bluetooth headphones, and I was like down and down. I haven't done any. Did I do any JBL headphones? Because JBL speakers, I mean, oh, I don't have any up there, do I? I got 305, LSR 305 over there and one in the other room. I mean, these exist. I do have, what the fuck am I high? 530s and the 590s are JBLs. I'm looking for powered monitors. They're not up there. So JBL does things, like fucking amazing things. So and they're the largest producer of speakers in like the world. Like, they own old subsidiaries. They make a bunch of companies. But them, personally, for movie theaters and stuff, sell, like, infinite speakers. So I said, all right, I'll try one of their headphones. I mean, how bad could it be? And it's not bad. You thought I was going to say it was bad, right? Oh, it could be so bad. And then I just start shitting on these for fucking, like, 2 hours. And if you go to the reviews on Amazon for these, and these are currently $90. Which is not like bargain bin cheap, but there's also another set above this. These are the 710s, there's the 750s, and those are like double the price. So it's like, these fall into a very weird section of like, okay, JBL is known for speakers. Now JBL, who's not known for headphones at all, not even like studio monitors, and I'm amazed by that, like studio monitoring headphones. So they pull out a Bluetooth thing, but they also, you gotta keep in mind, JBL sells a little, like Bluetooth speakers, like a lot of them. Like a lot of them, like, oh, holy shit, there's so many Bluetooth JBL speakers. And I feel like this is in that same ballpark of like trying to get way down in the lower ranks and just sort of infest. Get the name, because here's the thing. If that's the only thing JBL sold and the Everest was the only thing that JBL sold, no one would know who JBL was. They have to stay in the public eye. I think there's an entire section of JBL that's just like, we need to get out there. We need the youth of America to know that JBL is a company that has to do with audio at least. So they could probably fart the amount of money it took to R&D this and sell it and market it. And they didn't do a half-bad job. Like, here's the thing. It's not a bad headphone in any way, shape, or form. I know what I was expecting out of it, and I got that. They're not life-changing Bluetooth headphones. They have metal components that you could see are quality stainless steel there. Everything else is shitty plastic. They're like, this turning doesn't feel great. The pads are nice. They're comfortable. They clamp in a very linear fashion. They just feel like, they don't feel high-end. Like, even those MPOW that I gave to Pasta were like, or here, I brought out these, because they're roughly the same price as my Tautronics that I review. These with the metal and the shape and this cup and then these massive comfy pads. These are like my go-to $90 Bluetooth headphone. And I think the JBL sound better than them. But they both share something very similar. Bass a bass. So the question is, you want bass and not really well built enough, or bass built super fucking well? Doesn't fold like that, but oh my god, with this construction, plus the fact that it's active noise canceling versus, well, not active noise canceling. There's a couple tricks up this thing's sleeve. We're gonna get to them. We're gonna get to them soon. Just want to go over like the overall, like, why the fuck do these exist, Zeos? They exist because JBL needs you to know that they exist. They can't just sell expensive things. I'm sure there's companies out there that everyone in the music industry knows, like everyone who knows music and production. I'm dying on pizza, hold on. We'll know JBL, but you know, you're 18, you just got out of high school, and someone's like, hey, I got an old set of JBLs, you listen to them? You're like, what? JBL? No, yeah, JBL. So they got their name out there. So as a Bluetooth headphone, they are a rather interesting design. They have this floating cup here on this section, and I like this because I know for a fact it's if I was designing a headphone, especially a Bluetooth headphone, what I would attempt to do is completely separate the part of the headphone that is the speaker and acoustic chamber and all that from the part that's holding the battery and the transformers and the fucking DAC and amplifier. And this does that perfectly. And it doesn't do it in too much bulk. Like, you could see that this section, here's where the switches are. Power, here's your volume up down track change, there's a 3.5mm for an auxiliary, here's your Bluetooth, and here's your share button. We'll get to that. And it's all in this back section. So this section that's rotating, this is dedicated section for the speaker and all the acoustic transformation behind it, and then there's a whole separate unit behind it. So I completely am okay with the way these are designed. That's why they did this. They could have used this section too if they really wanted to get crazy, and then had just like normal cups. This is a pretty big thing, although it's just plastic with arrows down for some reason, like it's supposed to tell me something. Top headband here is not the most padded thing, but the whole, as a whole, the clamp and the way it fits on my head, and then you got these R and L indicators that are in a font that it looks like it's a laser diffracted thing, and it's like, that's a little too on the nose for like trying to get the youth of America. JBL, you could just put an L and an R. You don't have to be that cool. The shape itself feels 90s as fuck. Like, this feels like something that I would have found in a basement 15 years ago. And it's not. It's well, I mean, they've been out for a while, but it's new. You can still buy these now. You can still buy this, and the more expensive ones are the exact same. These are $89.99, only 3.5 stars, and then the more expensive ones are $170. Look the same. You can get them in 3 different colors, all sort of variations of this shiny silvery thing, either gunmetal or silver or blue. And these only have 3 stars. So they're not like a beloved pair. So why, Zeos? Well, because of the reasons I've said so far. JBL is reaching down, and they're trying to keep a name for themselves with people who don't know audio. Oh, I got Beats. Oh, I got this. Oh, Kendrick Lamar told me to buy this. But now JBL exists. They're on the shelves. So at least you're going to know in the future when you come up and you can get better and better things. The control scheme, I kind of wish they broke it up a little bit. We've got your plug here, which is USB micro. Again, it's a slightly older design. There's a single LED showing you charge back there, showing you what's going on. Then nothing else. This whole left side is fucking done. The right side has the power switch, which that's actually an interesting design. The power switch is a momentary. You push it up, and then the top part of that is what glows, and it goes blue, and it blinks, and it shows you basically the operations of the headphone as you're going along. And then you have to read it, like, it doesn't show it on the outside. You can't really tell on the line, but looking on the inside, then you see that's power, plus, minus, play, pause, answer phone calls, things like that. And then we get to the Bluetooth connector pairing button, and then there's the share button. The share button is what makes these stand out. How do they sound? Let me get that over with real quick. They sound like under $100 Bluetooth headphones. They are relatively clear. They have a slightly elevated bass response, so sort of like Beats reference, but better than Beats reference, because not Beats. That's straight up. The Teltronics here are Beats Reference with an insane amount of low end and slightly reduced highs, but they're active noise canceling. You're paying the same amount of money for either one of these. These are obviously linked in the description. These are active fuck you noise canceling, and I'm talking about like level 8 out of Bose 700's 10. Like good active noise canceling. And yeah, the sound quality isn't fucking on par with something you could buy that's just a passive headphone. By the way, I like my pile of bricks. Thank you. So, I mean, you're not buying these strictly for the sound quality. You're getting them because they're super comfy, they're well built, they're active noise canceling, they're under $100. Zeos recommends them. Fine. These, on the other hand, are not active noise canceling. They do have a better sound signature than this, but just barely. You just get a little bit more neutrality in the mid-range and the highs. So it sounds good. It sounds like it's good $100. It's about $100 to the head. It's all right. It's just me going like this. Yeah, it's all right. It's an alright wallpaper. It's not a spectacular wallpaper. If you know how to read these reviews, you open it up and go, oh, she's cute and got headphones on. Okay, she's got a soup cream shirt on. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. They're fine. They're fine. What they do special is this share button. This is the only headphone I know of, and please, I am not an all-knowing, all-seeing audiophile. I don't obsess over this. This is kind of like my hobby. If it became a super-duper job, I'd have tattoos on my arms and everything else, and I'd lose my mind. It wouldn't be fun. I just like to sit back. Oh, let's try these. Okay, so you hit the share button on this headphone. You pair this headphone like any other headphone. You pair it. Comes up on your phone. In this case, I'm using the Tautronics sender module, which is using fiber optic. So it's keeping it digital, sending it Bluetooth, just in a different format. It's actually not connected to these in aptX, low latency, or HD. And I don't know if it can. I didn't see anywhere on this page. So let's go back to this thing. Let's go to the cheap one. Control F. Oh, by the way, you guys like my Zeos keyboard on this desk? Because it used to be there, but I've replaced that with that keyboard, which is a Gearworks Hex Gears. It's a Hex Gears Supernova. Thing's amazing. White box keys. I'll link to that. So I put this here, and I don't know if it's too distracting with the bright white letters in my name. Like, I feel like Tony Stark when he's like just realizing he's full of shit, but I did that a while ago. So let's just search for apt. Apt. It's another product down here, has aptX. So it does even anywhere in the specs or anywhere on this page say anything about aptX. So it's not even like the newest of Bluetooth things. So it's just whatever. It's a whatever Bluetooth. But I still haven't gotten to the share thing, and I apologize because I keep getting distracted because I'm Zeos. How you doing? I don't take any medication for this, which is probably why you love me. You hit the share button on that, and all of a sudden, your other pair of Bluetooth headphones can connect to this pair of Bluetooth headphones. And you could actually share one signal. So instead of having to do the source with the dual source and you're sitting on a plane, you have a pair of these. You want to listen to the same thing the other person's watching. Hey, can you share that? Click, beep, beep, beep. JBL Everest are now a sharing source. Your other headphones, your Bluetooth dongle, your fucking $8,000, your M11 Pro can hook up to it. And now you can all get the same audio. These have to be the starting point, which unfortunately means if it's not aptX or an aptX HD, it's not exactly giving you the greatest source to reference off of. But look, I teeter my expectations down. We're under $100, we're Bluetooth. I know what to expect. So you gotta have something that makes you stand out from the crowd. These have exceptional build quality and the cheapest good noise canceling I could find. Like good noise canceling. These have okay build quality, decent sound, very, very low end dependent. We'll talk about how they sound plugged in a second. But that share feature, that's their feature. The fact that it's designed, like I said, with the entirety of the electronics outside of the part that's going to make the sound. Like this is all built in here. So at some point, the battery's in the same chamber as the headphone speaker. The driver itself is shared with all these holes and everything. So it's like, that's not the best way to do it. This is the best way to do it. I mean, the best way to do it would be to have it completely out and up here somewhere and share it across this massive amount of space. But this will do. Piggy, this will do. So that's basically the only reason you buy these, because they don't feel If these were metal, if they were like a little bit more money, not double, like 170, I don't know, those are probably going to be a very similar build, which is probably why they have such shitty reviews. But if these were like built really well, they're comfortable enough, they sound clean enough, clean up the sound a little bit more. When I plugged in via the 789, first of all, it shuts off the Bluetooth, obviously. It does not drain the battery. It's not one of those units that needs... It's not DSP correcting, like certain headphones like the Sony's, where you have to have it on for it to sound its best. Like Sony's. Those the $300 Sony's sound better than these. The Bose sound better than these. But you plug it in directly, and I think it actually lost some of that bass. So a lot of that sound signature is in the amplification. And I don't hate it. And it's not like when I went from a direct line to the drivers versus Bluetooth without aptX, there was like a crazy quality difference. Like, oh my God, quality upgrade. It really wasn't. They sound like a $100 pair of Bluetooth headphones, no matter if you're pairing them with this or that or themselves. It's just fine. These are fine. These are a fine set of headphones. They're fine. You buy them for that sharing feature. And then I'm wondering, if you had like 15 of these, could you share 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, all the way around the room? I wonder what kind of destruction of audio quality would be in that 15th pair. It's a question that I've never had to ask myself, but now I did. So you can plug it in. It's fine. If your battery dies, it's a good way to do it. By the way, this is a 4-pole, 2.5 millimeter. So it's essentially a balance cable, but it's not balanced. It's got push button and a microphone here, even though it's got a microphone on it. Never understood why they would need... I guess if this thing is dead, you can't use that microphone, so this fully detaches you from the use of the internal electronics. I do like the plug. It reminds me a lot of the old Vimoto plugs, which, rest in peace, Vimoto cables. That's it. There's no sound demos. I have so many Bluetooth headphones coming up, and I could describe it pretty well. Like, you know if I'm bullshitting you, you'll know. So sound demos I'm skipping for these Bluetooth headphones. I don't want to take up extra days on my channel if I don't have to. And also space on my desk, and also getting more playlists and tracks and wallpapers. Although I know you guys love wallpapers. So yeah, I think JBL did this for the exact reasons I said. They just want to make sure they're known. They don't want to fade out into just like high-end stuff that, only when you only find out about it when you're like 35. And you're like, hey, I'm looking for some vintage sound. Have you ever heard of JBL? Nah, I never heard of that. I grew up only listening to One Direction on my Beats. Well, now you can listen to One Direction on your JBLs. So, I applaud JBL, and at the same time, it's like, if you put a little more effort into it, if you just shoved that R&D budget away from commercial speakers for just like 4 minutes, you could probably build these. I love that sharing feature. Oh, here's the bag it comes with, by the way. I know, this is the most exciting thing. You've never witnessed the excitement. It does get pretty small. Smaller than the bag is for this, because obviously this doesn't fold, so that's one of its detriments. You're getting a giant, unfoldable, comfortable. Probably not as comfortable as these. These are bigger, softer pads, but they clamp. They have to clamp harder for active noise canceling to be a thing. I don't hate it. I don't hate those, but again, they're not audiophile grade. And I don't hate these, but they're not audiophile grade. They're just convenient. I'm okay with the way the buttons could be a little bit better defined. There's a little ridge in the center, but you sort of learn where they are after a while. You go like, okay, I need to go up, so that's not here where this gap is, but if I feel that ridge, that's too far down, so we're up, down, next track, last track. So also, someone complained there's apparently a JBL app for your phone, and that only works in the higher end ones, the 750s, not the 710s. So I don't know how you could only have 2 pair of fucking Bluetooth headphones, JBL, and then just not include the app control on one of them. 50% of all the headphones you sell, yeah, fuck, the app doesn't need to be part of it. Maybe it's better. Maybe it's better. Would I like to try the more expensive ones? Yeah. I'm on the fence. If they had great reviews, I would buy them myself just to review them. But they don't. They're less high-end reviews than this. That extra money is not bringing enough to the table to make people enjoy them. And I got tons of better those shivers right there, those are coming up. Those have sound quality. The Nufio ones we'll get to them. And then there's a set of Marshall Major 3s. There's little square weirdos. And I'm like, you know what? I accept you for who you are. So that's it. Enough of this. No sound demo today. Wallpaper available in the description. All wallpapers available to patrons and Subscribe Star people alike. Both support formats that you see these reviews early. Both get you into the yard sale from the 1st to the 10th of every month so that you can bid on items. This was sent to me by a user, not given to me, so these will end up back in his possession. And I keep all these for myself. I have 3 pair. When I go on a long road trip, I take these into my car, my very, very, very loud car. It's loud because I paid for it to be loud. And you put the noise canceling on, it's like, oh, well, I could drive 3 hours now instead of ah. That's what my car is like. In case you don't know, it's a big V8 that goes like 2,000 RPM at 80 miles an hour. It's great. It's great. I was gonna go great. No, it's great. Yeah, and $10 tier. $10 tiers on either support site gets you into the private Telegram chat, which is why I had to mute my phone. Because we just talk all the time. They know about me doing this. You don't know what this is. You don't get the behind the scenes access. They get the behind the scenes access. If I find a Telegram channel that has all these great wallpapers on it, I'll share it with them. Basically, they pay my rent. So if you want to pay my rent, $10 tier gets you into that. The end. And this guy might be a patron. I'm not sure if he's a 5 or a 10. And then there's higher tiers that get you higher benefits and more direct access to my pants. And Chewbacca's pants. Haha, Chewbacca doesn't wear pants. Anyway, I'll see you tomorrow. Whee!